My name is James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. So, as an independent filmmaker, an actor, a writer, I used to be my own stuntman. You know, I would like to say this because I said this in my other video, so I'm going to feed off of that, but it's not connected to this video. If you're going to make a show, I would behoove you all to read your material. Alright? If you're making a show about X-Men, or the superhero shows from DC, Marvel, or Dark Horse, anybody, you should read your material. If you are the producer and the director of the show, you and your actors really must read the material. Read the backstory. Go directly to the source. If you're getting anything from Stan Lee, go talk to Stan Lee before you play or write this character. That way you won't have to, everybody like, this isn't happening, this doesn't look like this is a clusterfuck. And I only say this not because I'm trying to get anybody on the shows fired, because and some of the actors have actually said this themselves. Like the girl that plays Blink, she did a great job. She's doing a particular job. I love her. I'm in love with her if you want the truth. But she had said it in one of her interviews that she didn't know why they wanted her to play Blink because Blink was a Caucasian girl and she's an Asian girl. Well, you're a sexy Blink, so let's just keep it at that. And you're a working actor, not like me, who's not a working actor. And not even a noted actor. I'm not even a footnote in history right now. But the thing is, if you're going to make shows or movies or TV events with these guys, play to the minority of the character in which it is written. She would have been great Jubilee, but Jubilee has been in every X-Men movie in only a cameo spot. She's been in every one. You can tell it's her about a little yellow trademark jacket. Like that's not the biggest insult to Asian people that she has to be Asian and rock a yellow jacket. But if you're gonna make a show and you haven't read the comic, a lot of people are giving Ben Affleck flack over 10 years later over Daredevil. Alright, first off, let me defend Ben Affleck really fast. I know this is not me kissing his ass so that he can give me a job. That shit's not gonna happen. But it would be great. But the director of Daredevil clearly didn't follow through with how he should have made the movie. Alright? It's just that simple. Let's not put it all on Ben, because that's what everybody has done. When I first seen the Daredevil movie, the action scenes were great. The policy and everything that they were following, I understood what they were trying to do. But the problem was that I don't think that Ben actually was a Daredevil fan like he is with Batman. And Daredevil just wasn't really meant for him, So we can't hang it all up on Daredevil being Ben Affleck's fault that this shit went clusterfuck. Especially since the Netflix show has blown that out of the water. But as for the Daredevil movie, the director, whoever it was, tried to put like the first 10 years of Daredevil comics into one fucking movie, and you can't do that. Now, if you're gonna make a movie, you have to do it correctly. Now, they could have did the first part, the origin stuff, and instead of probably making it a flashback to lead to the end, then you could do that. And they didn't do that. What they did was in the beginning, there's a fight, Daredevil gets fucked up, and he has a flashback of how the fuck he got there. Alright, and then at the end, he goes after the Kingpin, which is Michael Clark Duncan, I think it was. And that's the problem that I had making him black. A lot of things, I'm not saying that it's wrong that Michael Clark Duncan played the bad guy, but it is wrong that Michael Clark Duncan played the bad guy. Yes, that was hypocritical. And why? Because when you want to go see Spider-Man, Venom should be Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock is white. So why can't Michael Clark Duncan have played something else instead of playing the Kingpin and being black? Because everybody portrays the black people as the bad guys. That doesn't sound like that's a good idea. But no, we're going to do that because we're going to make Michael Clark Duncan the bad guy. Really? Really? He could have been anybody in Hell's Kitchen except for the Kingpin. No. But we all threw Ben Affleck under the bus. The Elektra movie was great. Daredevil was great in its entirety if you actually could sit through it and watch it without judging. Daredevil was not a bad movie. The problem was it wasn't put together properly, and everybody threw Ben Affleck, myself included, threw him right under the bus. Said he sucked. He totally sucked. And Ben Affleck is a great actor. He's done many different things, but it was the same bullshit that they said about Tobey Maguire, but the opposite happened. because Tobey Maguire held it down for 3 Spider-Man movies. Now, everybody loved him as Spider-Man. Everybody loved Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Everybody loves the new guy, Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So, you know, it's really more about if the director is a fan and actually read the comic book and don't try to squeeze everything, because there have been other movies like that that the the um the sell has been more important than the actual quality of the movie. Instance, M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender. Alright? So Ben Affleck, if you're listening, before anybody else says this, first, you're doing the baddest job ever as Batman. You are a badass. That was awesome how you held it down in Superman versus Batman. It was awesome how you handled it in Justice League. So, when I say you're a badass, that bad meaning good. Not that I'm trying to backtrack, but you're a badass. For Batman, you've been next to Christian Bale. You've been holding it down really well. Now, unfortunately for you guys, my favorite Batman will always be Michael Keaton. You guys can judge me all you want, I don't care. But Ben Affleck and Christian Bale are tied in my 3 favorite Batmans. Now, and Val Kilmer, you're coming up on the 4th. I'm sorry, but that's only because you, like me, are more of a martial artist than everything else. So, and it was a whole lot easier for people to work with Val Kilmer because they said he actually knows martial arts, so it's easier for them to not have to train him to do the shit. Well, for Ben Affleck in the newest role of Batman, and for Christian Bale, for guys who don't know martial arts, they held that shit down pretty goddamn good. So and same thing with Michael Keaton. So let's not knock them out the box. But that's jumping off the subject. The subject is simple. If you're going to make a movie on a comic book, read your fucking context. The only thing that made the Daredevil movie suck is that they tried to squeeze like 20 issues into one book with no definition. They didn't really give Bullseye enough screen time to have an origin. You just knew Bullseye is the guy who never missed and could kill you with some fucking peanuts from across the room. Not that the guy that played Bullseye, Colin Farrell, didn't do a bad job as Bullseye. He did a great job as Bullseye. The problem is that the movie was not called Bullseye. Alright? And it's the same bullshit when you go through Suicide Squad. Most people didn't want to see Will Smith as Deadshot because Deadshot's a white guy. So, you know, okay. Well, if you watch Arrow, Deadshot is played by a white guy, and it's done very well. But Will Smith playing Deadshot, he also did very fucking well. You rarely get a movie with Will Smith in it that's a big fucking letdown. You know? And at least I haven't really gotten any movies with Will Smith in it that I consider a big fucking letdown. It's the same thing like with The Rock. I'm the biggest Scorpion King fan there is. And it's not just because of The Rock, but I really love Kelly Hu. So, yeah, I can watch the Scorpion King 3 or 4 times a day. Now, I've only seen the first one. I watched some of the other ones with Michael Kupon, the Power Ranger, from, not Lightspeed Rescue, but the Time Force. So he's done the Scorpion King, and those are prequels to the Scorpion King with The Rock. Which I think, had they made a sequel with The Rock in it, it probably would have sold a whole lot better. But yeah, because they would have probably had more money. Scorpion King, regardless, did good. It's my favorite Rock movie of all time. Over Fast and Furious and all that stuff, I will always love the Scorpion King. Now, why is that? Mostly because of Kelly Hu. But anyway, leaving that and Dwayne Johnson the hell alone. If you're going to make a comic book movie, then you should at least, if you're going to do the origin, do it from the beginning. You know, start as an origin. Kind of like the new Fantastic Four did. Only the only thing that I hated about that last Fantastic Four movie is that Sue Richards was not black. So here's where I get the bad judgment call, right? Well, let me explain it to you. Sue was not adopted, and you tell me where in the fuck in the world are they ever going to let a black man adopt a white child? That was postpartum bullshit if I've ever seen it. Now, other than that, now had Sue been his daughter, and Reed stayed white, and Thing stayed white, and Johnny stayed black, and Sue was black, it would have evened out, and it would have been a greater movie. Not that I'm down cutting the actress that played her, because she's working and I'm not. You know, the fact of the matter is that if you're going to make the movie, make it the way it should be. I don't have a problem with Johnny or Sue being black, but I think they both should have been black, because their dad was black, and I don't give a damn where you are. I know how America works. In America, if you're black, You will never adopt a white child unless you have mad money. And I mean mad money. Now, the reverse order of that is if you're white in America, you can adopt a kid of any color you want. But if you're black in America, yeah, it's more than likely you will probably be able to adopt a black chick or a black kid before you can adopt another kid of any other color. And sometimes they just place a black kid in your home because you're black. You might not even be fit to be an adoptive parent, but hey, you're black, he's black, boom, there you go. Culture divide, cut and dry. You know, and that's kind of how the world works. It shouldn't be that way, but in reality, let's look at reality here. I'm a black man. I'm mixed, but by legal standards of the law, my ass is black. My birth certificate says black, so I'm black. There's no way in hell, unless my best white friend wills their child to me as legal guardianship, there's no way in hell that I will be able to adopt a white child. They would give a white child to a homeless man before they gave a child to me, especially if the homeless man is white. So let's get that out of the way. I said it, it's over, it's done. But if you're going to make a movie and you're going to change the ethnicity of people, because it worked for DC, Wally's black, Iris is black. Why couldn't it have worked for the Fantastic Four? Why couldn't Sue be black if Johnny was black? Now, I'm not knocking Michael B. Jordan because he did the Human Torch very fucking well. I didn't really like the way the story works, but the movie was good to me. I liked the new Fantastic Four. I'm probably the only person on Earth that liked it. But I also liked the Superman versus Batman. Again, I'm probably the only person on Earth that liked it. I love the Justice League. Again, I'm probably the only person on Earth who liked it. Jason Momoa held that shit down as Aquaman, and I hate Aquaman. But I like Jason Momoa's Aquaman. And he didn't just talk to fucking fish. See? But the thing is, if you're going to make a movie and you're going to use source material, it would behoove you to actually read the lines in the source material. Backwards and forwards, forwards and backwards, so that when someone criticizes your movie, you can tell them, look, I did my part. I got in there, I said some cool-ass one-liners, people that will remember, do you bleed? You will. People will remember that until the end of time. Ben Affleck will be going down as Batman a whole lot better than he went down as Daredevil. And they'll be coming to him, they'll even quote that line, that one line from Batman vs. Superman. They will remember that until the end of time, where Batman had jerked him up, Superman jerked up Batman, and Batman looked at him and said, do you bleed? You will. And he start fucking him up with the goddamn spear. They will remember that. Where I can't remember one line Ben Affleck said in Daredevil. Not one. But that's not Ben Affleck's fault. That's probably more my fault for being fucking retarded. But, Daredevil was a good movie to a degree. It just didn't have that kick-ass flair that Tobey Maguire established in Spider-Man, or that Andrew Garfield established in Spider-Man. But again, that's not Ben Affleck's fault, because the guy that directed the damn movie, or co-directed the movie, clearly they wanted to put more in instead of trying to gradually wean you in, because you can't start a movie with Daredevil crawling into a church and passing out and remembering everything that led him to this point without making a point about what happened, and then after getting his ass beat and beating the hell out of Bullseye and dropping him down at the end of the damn church or whatever the hell the ending was, he's bleeding and he leaves. And every time he left somewhere, he's left the double D burning. Now, see, that was cool, because in comic books, as many Daredevil comic books as I've read, I don't remember him doing that, but hey, that works. I do remember the Crow doing that in the Crow comic book, which I'm pretty sure was a Dark Horse comic. I'm not going to swear to it because I can't remember. But in The Crow, for Brandon Lee to do that as a comic book superhero, or anti-hero, or whatever you want to call him, I remember him doing that with the cigarette lighter and burning the Crow into the ground. I remember him doing a lot of stuff, because in the comic book he only had like 2 days to get revenge. Like, that's a lot of time. 48 hours to kill someone is not a lot of time, because you have to hunt the motherfuckers down, and that's what the bird basically did that. And he had to catch up. He didn't have super speed, so he couldn't fly, he couldn't run and catch the bird. He was just basically invulnerable. He was invincible until the bird got fucked up. So when you're making superhero movies, it would behoove you to have good content. Now, the superhero movie that I love and everyone else will probably trip off was Hancock. Will Smith throwing that whale back into the ocean was fucking awesome. and Hancock was like not a superhero that I know of in a comic book, but it still was a good movie. Now, like I said, I'm referring back to Daredevil for a reason. You know, because no one really gave Daredevil the full Monty chance. It's the same thing like with the Fantastic Four with Michael B. Jordan. No one gave him the full chance, and the only complaint that I have on that is that Sue was not black. You know, now for Daredevil, okay, you got a movie about a superhero that's blind. No, but he has super hearing. He can read Braille with his two fingers, and he can tell if you're lying by talking to you. He can tell if you're lying. He has another power, but I can't remember what the fuck it is. Now, they didn't really utilize a lot of that in the Daredevil movie, which kind of was like what kind of fucked me up there. It's like, okay, well, Daredevil can tell when people are lying, and he has radar hearing, which is why he can practically see with his radar vision, because he has radar vision and radar hearing, and it gives him basically he's not totally blind. He's legally blind, where he literally can't see you if you're right in front of him, you know. But his radar hearing, his voice echoes off of stuff, and it can project out. They could have did predator vision. They could have did a whole lot of stuff on that, you know, so that people can understand from his point of view. Now, I'm not saying they could have did the whole thing like they did Hardcore Henry, where you film out of Daredevil's point of view, because basically then the screen would fucking be black, unless you put it in like 3D or predator vision and stuff like that. But who wants to watch that all damn day? Yeah, but Hardcore Henry was a good movie too. Is it Henry, Harry, somebody? Anyway, you know, when you're gonna if you're gonna make a movie about superheroes, then you have to follow the content, but you also can't pile everything in it at once. Like with the Airbender with M Night Shyamalan. Okay, first off, none of the lead characters were the right type of Asian. Even Aang, he was a Native American because the kid that plays him is half Native American, but the girl and her brother on the flying elephant with him, Abba, they should have been Eskimoan, because that's the region in which they came from. And everybody in the Ice Kingdom should have been Eskimoan. Now, they were Indians, but they were from India. They were the ones with the dots, not the feathers. Even Zuko, who the guy with the fire fist, the daddy, the son of the emperor, or whatever the hell he was, even he was Native American with the dots, not the feathers. Excuse me, I don't know why I call them Native American. He's an Indian with the dots, not the feathers. So, you know, if you're going to do the content, and then again, you can't try to push a whole season or 7 entire fucking episodes from the first season into one fucking film and call it a smash hit. It doesn't work that way. That's been proven to be a big clusterfuck above all else. So, I'm going to have to make a second part. I have to go get my niece off the bus soon. So, it might be a second part to a second part. I'm James Williams Jr., couple having number 2. Peace.